For those of you just joining us in the video, although I think almost everyone is here today, absolutely everyone is, and maybe that's why we're so distracted, but some of you are doing well, at least as far as guessing. We were talking through about how we're going to try to be practicing these one more way today. I haven't introduced yet how we do have a quiz coming just to see if you guys can solve quadratics using any method. It was like the one main thing that wasn't really on the test, or it was, but it was just a bonus. It was just a bonus. But you do have this worksheet in front of you that is homework, and my computer wasn't working so hot, so I went ahead and tried to restart things, and it is working now. But as you guys were working, there's an annoying green line. That's no fun. I didn't have you working on the new ones or the really important ones for the quiz. I had you working on these review ones, just trying to figure out how many answers you're supposed to have. So let's go ahead and take this real quick, and let's see how you guys did. My advice, my hint was you should probably try to find the discriminant. Let's go ahead and get it in our notes. There we go. So let's just go for guesses. And I don't want you guys to shout out your guesses because then someone else might totally be affected by what you thought. I just want you guys to hold up. Ready? None, one, or two. None, one, or two. So go ahead and hold up for number one. What do you guys think? Two. Just hold up, hold up. Let me see. Because that way it's like not as, is it none, is it one, or is it two? Okay, as I look around the room, oh, come on, everybody can make a guess. I'll wait until all hands are up. This will be awkward.
I'll make a guess.
Either 0 or 1 or 2. Brooke, I don't see it. Andreas, I don't see it. Maybe you're showing it. I just can't see it. Melanie, there it is. Let me see. Okay, ready? Hands down. I see absolutely every answer choice. I mean, we're guessing, right? But the one I saw the most was 0. I don't know if it's right or not, but the one that I saw the most was 0. So let's go ahead and check it real quick. Wait, check it. How did I say that you could check it? Find the... I didn't say it enough times. I tried. I said discriminant. Yeah. Find the discriminant. And who's that discriminant guy?
B squared
minus
4ac.
It's just that part under the square root. Yeah, b squared minus 4ac, right? Everest, focus on in. Now, can I go ahead and steal my ABC right now, how it's written?
Yes. No. Oh, no, you have to.
Because I need to get it all to one side, right? And I would need to do that for the quadratic formula also. So, you would have needed to think of minus 6x plus 11. Using our algebra, yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then when I plug into my b squared minus 4ac, let me get another page real fast so that we have plenty of room to work. Hi, computer. Good morning. Some of you guys are struggling like the computer to wake up, huh? Well, I see a lot of you just kind of droop in. And I know the computer's taking a little bit of time too. Here we go. So number 1, b squared minus 4ac. Practicing our PEMDAS. Because some of you, the quadratic formula might be the safest way to take this quiz tomorrow. b squared minus 4ac. How's the plugging in? Hannah, how are we doing? Hi. I'd love to see your eyes instead of the top of your head. You too. My b is negative 6, right? My a is 6 and my c is 11, and that's because I had to subtract this guy to the other side, and I had to add this guy to the other side, which is how I got it like there. Now, some of you are thinking PEMDAS. PEMDAS, 36, right?
Yes, sir.
Minus, ooh, maybe a calculator would be nice. If some of you learned how to do your calculator, you wouldn't actually ever have to think about PEMDAS because there are really cool parentheses and some really snazzy calculators. But Jonathan's totally right. If we were doing it by hand, we would go left to right. We'd do one multiplication. Now it's time for the other one. Ooh, 24 minus 11. Why do I not even need to go any further? And I can say, you 0 people were absolutely right. Who's is going to be a negative? That guy's going to win, hands down. And what's going to happen anytime I have any discriminant that's less than 0 or negative? It's not going to work. But could we have actually gotten the answer by subtracting? Yes. But what I'm going to say is it's negative. And as soon as that discriminant is negative, we know not to even go any farther. So, Nicely done, all my zeros. And my other ones, you were guessing. It's all right. Could have been 1, could have been 2. Let's check out number 2, though. Except I'm not going to go any farther until we see hands for everyone making a guess. So what do you think, 0, 1, or 2 on number 2? Just right in front of you. No stress. What do you think? What do you think? Make a guess. Make a guess, John. What do you think? Diana, what do you think? Brooke, what do you think? Okay. Looking around. This one's harder. We can think. Okay. Trey, what do you think?
2.
Andrew, what do you think?
2.
How about you, Andy? Make a guess, though. 0, 1, or 2, just so we see if you're right.
2.
Okay. All right, so as I look around the room, I see a lot of 2s. Saw more 1s that time. I still saw a few 0s. Let's see. On this one, we have to add that 12 to the other side, right? So negative 1/3 x squared plus 5x equals positive 12. Oh, plus 12, sorry, equals 0. So let's check this one out. What's that discriminant formula again? Oh, I already know it, guys. I would ace all your tests and quizzes. I don't need to learn this. Minus 4ac. Got it. So you guys give me the numbers. What goes in the B?
1/3.
Good. Oh, B.
Five.
Now what goes here?
1/3.
Negative 1/3. Careful, negative though, right? And then 12?
Negative 12.
Except, Danny, we're going to add that 12 to the other side. You see it? Get standard form first. Kayla, we good? B squared minus 4ac. Move that 12 over. Yeah, not yet. So then PEMDAS. 25 minus. Can we go for the first? Ew, I don't like that one. Well, it's all right. 4/3. Wait, but isn't a negative times a negative and we still have 12, yeah? And 12 is over 1. I actually don't have to go any farther. If I'm just trying to figure out how many solutions, why is Max smiling over there with his 2 still thrown up? What kind of number is this going to be? A positive. It's going to be a positive. And if it's a positive, how many answers are we going to have? 2. Now, can I just give you guys a couple more seconds to do 3 and 4 and maybe make a bit more educated of a guess? Not to say that you're wrong in guessing, because I did just tell you to guess. But in 3 and 4, now that you've seen me do 1 and 2, and now that we've reminded ourselves that x-intercepts are solutions, make a little more educated of a guess. Why don't you guys go plug it into the discriminant? See if you can ace these next 2. Maybe you already did. Maybe you're done. Maybe you just made a guess, and now you're like, I think I want to make a right guess this time. It's going to be limited. Like 2 minutes, 1 minute per. Make a discriminant guess. Yeah, that's what you're doing. I think 3 and 4 are already in standard form. I think you can go straight to ABC. A few people came in yesterday to get some help on homework. They want to start off this part of, like we just took a test, it was kind of rough, it was kind of hard, they'd fallen behind, they want to start off strong. This is a little baby whiteboard I was using with them, which kind of looks like the back of your paper, doesn't it? Factoring, square root. Anyway, we'll get there. But just a few of you are like, man, I want some tutoring. I want to ace this chapter. I want to ace this part. Come on by. Okay, 1 more minute. All right. going to check your discriminants first, but if you guys notice, these are way cooler than the test even, because the test, didn't I make you actually like find the discriminant and fill in the blank? Whereas these ones, I'm just saying, hey, find the discriminant, just go far enough to know the right answer, which is kind of cool. Positive, negative, we're done. We don't even have to have the final number. So this one, did you guys plug in x equals, sorry, that's not the whole thing, just the b squared minus 4ac. Was anybody able to, hold on, b squared, just double checking, minus 4a was negative 1 and c was 15. I think that's good. Because remember when there's nothing in front, I mean there's a negative sign but there's no written number coefficient, we always assume it's a 1.
Yes, so it would be -1, but how do you get, I know that -1, oh, that would be a.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's written a little bit weird because the ones up above have the equation on the other side, but this is still our quadratic. So we just get our quadratic ax squared plus bx plus c, even if it's written on the left or the right. It was good to go straight to ABC. How is our mental math? Does some of you know without doing any math if it's positive, negative, or 0?
Negative.
Zero.
Probably no. Positive.
Uh-oh. So, long story short, I just heard all 3 answers, right? Which means we should probably do some PEMDAS. So some PEMDAS is going to be 49. Wait, what's negative 4 times negative 1?
Positive.
Can you tell now? You see it? 49 plus, and if you guys needed to go all the way, it'd be 49 plus 60. But the long story short is I know exactly which one to answer because it is positive, which means 2 solutions. Is that making sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Cool. It's kind of nice we don't have to actually go all the way to the answer. The discriminant is 109, but. So let's check your mental math on this one. A is 3. B is negative 18. And guys, on the test, just in case you were curious, I wrote out the A and the practice test. I wrote out A, B, C so that I could give you points for getting A, B, C right, even if you plugged it in wrong. But you still had to go to your discriminant formula and plug in, which is why I had you write the discriminant formula on the test. B squared, ooh. That's big. You already figured it out?
Oh.
Okay, so it's 300 and what? 18 times 18? Thank you. And then we have minus, oh, I don't know if I know this one off the top of my head.
324.
That'd be 12 times 27.
No solution.
The answer would be 0.
Does this end up being 324 also? So then it's going to be 324 minus 324. There's some debate because the discriminant is 0, but if the discriminant is 0, we're adding or subtracting 0, which is the same thing. Only one answer. Yeah? Yeah? Good. Okay. That was just a review of knowing how many answers. Why? When you go to do 5 through 11, if it would help, you could at the very beginning of 5 through 11 know exactly how many answers you're going for. How could that be nice? Could you know right away by doing the discriminant which ones are no solution, so don't even try? That's kind of cool. Could you know which ones are only supposed to have 1? Could you know which ones, ooh, did you remember the absolute value are supposed to have 2? Anyway, we're starting on 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to come back in just a little bit and work on or play with or have you guys kind of treat like a quiz 5 through 11. It's not a quiz, it's just the worksheet. It's the homework tonight, due tomorrow. But guys, I need you guys, wait. What does this say? Doesn't this say solve using the quadratic formula?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I want you guys to cross this part out. Because once upon a time, we would have solved with the quadratic formula. You needed a lot of quadratic formula practice, and we did that. But what do we have now on the other side of this paper?
4
different methods that could be good. 4 different methods that could be good. So I don't want you just to use the I mean, if you want to, you can. That's true. But there are other methods. So I want you to solve the equation by any method, just like homework, because some of these could go quicker than others. Now hold on. you guys flip your page, now that I have the computer actually working, I have your homework actually up. This was 1 through 6 from last night. Can you guys all flip your worksheets to that little grid? Okay? You can see your 4 options. You can see your 4 options. And technically, if you want to be snazzy and give yourself a reminder of the 4 options, here's what I would do in each of the 4 boxes. Flip the sheet real quick. Because we're going to grade the homework real fast and see if you guys got stuck on homework before just letting you keep going on the worksheet. Okay, factoring. If I were you, now don't fill the whole box because you might want to use this in actually solving tonight. But factoring, okay? I want you guys to put a little reminder of factoring. I want you to put an X, right? Because factoring is with the X. I'm going to go ahead and model this in your notes. I'm just showing you what I was using to kind of help people out last night when we were working on this. So we have our 4 different quadrants, our 4 different grids. And you're going to use this in this worksheet. You're going to use this by looking at 5 through 11 and choosing which ones you want to factor with, and your scratch paper or your scratch space that a lot of you need to use for homework. Any of the factoring ones you're going to put in here. Maybe you'll put 5, maybe you'll put 7, maybe you'll put 9, but you'll do the factoring ones here. But you need to remind yourselves of factoring. So factoring, remember, we have the X method. And don't we go ahead and up here put A times C. Now that you've memorized the quadratic formula, A is the guy in the A spot. C is the guy in the C spot. B goes right down here. And remember, we're trying to figure out who adds to B and who multiplies to AC. And then we go into our box and we always put our AX squared and we always put our C, and then we steal from this category right here, we steal from the middle of our X's both of our answers to put in here. And then we pull out. And then we pull out. That's our factoring. Now, I'm not going to have you guys do it in the worksheet right this second, but I am going to have you guys do it in homework, kind of using this idea for us to grade last night. Were any of these, or did you guys find any of these that would have been good with factoring? Multiply to B, add to B, it actually worked.
Yeah.
Did anybody use factoring? Maybe no one did. Max, did you use factoring? On number 4, let's check it out. On number 4, if we made an X of number 4, A is 1, right? So 1 times 12 is 12. That goes up there. And then B is negative 7. Does anything add to be 12? Sorry, multiply to be 12 and add to be negative 7? Good. Did you have to do it this way?
No.
No. But could you have? Yes. Are we okay, guys? Thanks for helping out. Now, if you remember, this is the shortcut. This is the short one where, the one says we can go straight to an answer to intercepts, but quick reminder, just to get us ready for or make sure we're good for the hard one. Those of you that use the box, remember, the AX squared, the first term goes here, the last term goes there, and then we steal the negative 3 and the negative 4, and those are the ones that go inside our box. So we can pull out what's in common, we can pull out what's in common, we can pull out what's in common, we can pull out what's in common. So when we grade over here, I think I have it on a separate screen. When we grade number 4, our final answer should have come from X minus 3 and X minus 4. Wait, but their answers are X equals 3 and X equals 4. Well, yeah, because remember, when you show your factors, these are the intercepts, and we flip the signs when we answer. Or another way of thinking about it is way back to Moses in the Red Sea. We could actually split them up, and we could solve and say, oh, yeah, positive 3 and positive 4. So yeah, Max, totally agree with you. In the sense that I think factoring is probably the easiest way, not the only way, but the easiest way for that one. However, did anyone else in the class do factoring or make factoring or see that factoring worked for anything else besides number 4? Yeah, Andrew.
2.
Number 2. If you were to move the 10 to the other side, remember we'd have to move it all to one side, right? X squared minus 6x minus 10 equals 0. Let's try it. If we were to do the x, we would multiply a times c, 1 times negative 10. Put b down here. Okay, anything multiply to be 10 and add to be 6. I'm not seeing anything. So it's a good one to try. Sadly, it's just a hard one to do. Does anybody else have one that's good with factoring?
Number what?
I think this would be a good box one, so I was going to use that on Complete the Square. We can review Complete the Square. Where's Complete the Square in your grid? Is it down here?
Under factory.
Got it. So let's go to Complete the Square next. Complete the Square. If I were you, I would write a quick little hint or a quick little reminder on Complete the Square. So Complete the Square. Remember, we make our box, right? And when we fill in, remember we have to take this and we have to, whatever our ax squared plus bx is, we have to add. Let me make this a little bit clearer. I'm trying to make it to something that you guys can use when you use it on problems. When we have our x squared plus bx, we're going to take this and add it to both sides. Remember, we have to add it to both sides. And the reason we add it to both sides is because we're going to be able to factor. And when we're able to factor, we're going to get to this really nice form, actually. Hold on. Let's use that to review square roots. Because square roots say if you can get the squared guy, if it's an x, cool. If it's an x minus 4, cool. Whoever is being squared. If you can get him alone, so everything else is on the other side, we can bring in a radical. And when we bring in a radical, remember, we can go ahead and cancel out that squared with the square root, slow it down. Why do we get the absolute value in there? To remember there are how many answers? 2, equaling the positive and equaling the negative. I think we're going to do both of these, Melanie, because let's peek at our homework real fast. I think there was one that was really good with the square roots, and there was one that was really good with Complete the Square, and I think it was the first 2 problems. You guys check out in your homework last night, number 1. What was that problem? It was x squared. Oh, you should have it, right? X squared. Yeah, minus 121. So if we were doing x minus 121, look at a square root and solve that. How do I get the squared alone? Actually, I'm going to get a picture of both of these, because you were right, Melanie, that this one's good for Complete the Square.
I just, when you have to, square root the, number, so,
yeah.
I think it was, 19, and I just kept it at 19 rather than, it had to be a decimal, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This one's really nice when we go to add the 121 to the other side. Because when I go to take my square root, what's the square root of 121? Andrew, have it memorized, Swanson?
Square root? No, I don't.
Okay, that's okay. Then we'll reach out to someone else. Caleb, you have 121 square rooted memorized? Jonathan, help out? 11, good. So you can cancel out the square with the square root, slow it down with 11. So Melanie, if we had done that one in our calculator, 11 would have come out. It's nice, it's pretty. And remember, we would have had to slow down to get our 2 answers, right? Negative 11 and positive 11. That's a great square root example. Some of you, if you're bored, you could be looking at homework and trying to be like, oh, hey, that's a good factoring. I'm going to do it right now. Or, oh, hey, that's a good square root. I could be doing it right now. I see a few of you that are bored, and I'm like, whoa, you could be doing your homework. That'd be awesome. But for this one, I'm guessing, kiddo, your box was good because you did negative 3x and negative 3x. Filling it with the 9. And I can tell you did it right because you said 19. Which means you took this and you hopefully added it to this side and this side, which did get you 19. Did you get the x minus 3 as your factoring?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I just kept 19.
In some ways, it's actually perfect, except I think the directions, and we would need to double check, they don't say round to the nearest tenth, so actually it would have been okay just to stop in this one. Can you guys look at your answer choices really quickly on the worksheet? Are they getting decimals, or are they staying with radicals? And if it's something gross, like square root of 19. Okay, so then we would need to go ahead, to do that worksheet, we would have to go ahead and actually get the square root of 19, which, yeah, some of you guys have already done, or you did it last night. Square root of 19 is 4.35, or if we're rounding to the nearest, what's the worksheet do? The nearest 10? 1 decimal place, the worksheet? Okay, so then we'll do 4.4 to keep it like the worksheet. So then we would have written, now here's where it gets a little sticky, because remember, we have to slow it down, absolute value, but we have this 4.4 thing. How do I finish my problem? Split it up. So when we split it up, we would go ahead and say, remember, which one is positive and negative? The guy on the other side of the absolute value. So x minus 3 stays exactly the same. It's the other guy. Solving absolute value equations, something you should have done with Miss Sutherland last year. Set equal to the positive, set equal to the negative, and then solve. Adding 3. This should match up a lot better, kiddo. So you should end up with 7.4 or negative 1.4. Yeah. Yeah, don't get lost. And that's what we get with, oh, okay, they rounded to the nearest hundredth, but I don't think in the directions they gave you what to round to. I was looking at it, and they didn't really say. So we would have been okay with our nearest tenth to get our 7.4 and our negative 1.4. So the nice thing is we've we've practiced. What was this one? This one was factoring, we did the X method. This one was square rooting. This one was complete the square, so all we need now is a quadratic formula. And they're saying number 3 was a great quadratic formula. But I'm giving you guys a couple more seconds because I know the evens are not in the back of the books. If you guys need to check for a couple more moments to see if you got the right answers in homework. I'm going to be grading the worksheet and the homework tomorrow in class. I'm going to be grading the worksheet and the homework tomorrow in class. It's not really a section, which is kind of awkward, sorry. It was more of like a chapter 9, the very end summary. That I didn't want to push you guys too hard for the test. But I did want to slow it down and make sure that we kind of at least sort of knew our 4 different ways of facing quadratics. Because this is something that's going to show up in almost any math class that you're going to have to take in here or in college. And I don't want you guys to be totally like, I don't know. That's why we're slowing it down. Were there any other homework questions you guys wanted to go over, 1 through 6? Number 6? Yeah, let's go peek at it. The reason I haven't filled in the quadratic formula one yet, guys, as I go to get Jonathan's question ready, is because technically, quadratic formula, what do we really just need to have is our hint in this box. The actual, what's it called? Oh, the formula, quadratic formula, huh? X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4 is discriminant all over 2a. So I would fill that in your box for the quadratic formula. Let me freeze the screen as I go get number 6 for us to peek at to finish off our homework questions. And then we'll go see how you guys are doing on the worksheet. Quiz tomorrow. It's not going to be as long as the worksheet in that there's like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's a lot of different quadratics. I'm probably going to give you more like 4. Hey, kind of like the 4 different boxes, huh? I'm probably going to give you like 4 tomorrow. And you can solve with any method. But just remember, the X doesn't always work. You can't always find something that adds to be the bottom and multiplies to be the top. The square root doesn't always work. If we can't get the X in one place with a square, it's not going to work. Complete the square. It does always work, but I've only shown you the easy ones. Or sometimes there are fractions, and you guys kind of freak out with fractions. Some messy ones, this guy will be the best one to do. And for some of you, you're like, I get confused. You could always do this one. You could always do the quadratic formula. He's the messiest one, but he's also the one that will always work. I'm going to keep this up in case you guys are writing hints, and then you're going back to the worksheet and looking at 5 through 11 and trying to choose a way that works for you. For each of those problems, can you solve for the answer? And I don't mean just like, oh, plug it in and see if it works. I mean, no, actually solve. Because tomorrow you're not going to have the answers to choose from like this worksheet. You're going to have 4 quadratics. You get to choose what way you solve them with. And hopefully you can choose ways that make sense and that you can get the right answers with. Now, Jonathan, I have yours right over here. What category do you think this naturally looks like would be helpful right now?
Square root.
think completing the square is a little messy, Max, because that one you want the x being squared, and the square for this one is outside. I love that Jonathan said square root, because I totally agree.
Okay.
A square root right now would knock what out? It would knock that squared all the way out.
Okay.
See it? Your way, you would have to FOIL.
Okay.
So I think the square root is the easiest way. It's not the only way, but I think it is the easiest way. Now, some of you might be looking right now at your worksheet 5 through 11 and being like, wait, do any of them look like this? Because I should use a square root on this. But maybe they don't. And if they don't, you're like, oh, that's a bummer. But the ones that do are nice. Now, Jonathan, good thing is square root of 16 is one of those perfect ones. But you got to slow it down. Why am I putting absolute value when I cross out? How many solutions am I supposed to have?
2.
Mm-hmm. How do I get those 2? I say it could be, it meaning the absolute value. What's inside could be either 4 or it could be negative 4. So then you have to go through and solve this like a little baby algebra equation where we take what's on the inside and we say, hey, you could have been positive 4 and stayed the same, or you could have been negative 4 and flipped. So now the name of the game is just one piece at a time, get x by itself. Is that good? I think you're going to get some fractions if it looks right. 4's reduce 1/4. And then the other one, I think it's negative 7. Does that sound right? Yeah.
Oh, you're never. I'll wait.
Okay. I think we're ready to go to the worksheet. You guys ready for us to go to the worksheet? Last 5 minutes of class, see how much we can bust out?
Yeah.
Now, some of you are already busting it out. Keep busting it out. But you have that little 4 different ways of attacking these problems, right?
What's the back for?
The back is just for showing work. So if you find a factoring problem, you can put it on the factoring. But Isaiah, people were also writing down like little hints and tricks to remember the 4 methods. So it could just be setting or it could be scratch base if you need it. Okay. The very first one is what? Factoring? Is that the X method? Has anybody found any good X method ones just to help everybody out?
Yeah.
Which one?
7. 5.
Actually, I think 5 and 7.
Yeah.
Maybe even 6. Has anybody tried 6?
I did, but I used quadratic instead.
Oh, you use quadratic instead? But the nice thing is you have options. You don't have to use the X method.
I'll get the word.
Okay.
Because one, you have to go 1 times 6.
So let's check our X's real fast. For number 5, if I was to throw an X in there, does anything multiply to be 20 and add to be negative 9?
Negative 5 and negative 4.
Negative 5 and negative 4. Huh.
That's good.
For number 6, you know there is an X for number 5. Doesn't mean you have to use it. You could just use ABC and go to your quadratic formula. But yeah, there is an X for number 5. For number 6, someone said they tried it. Max, I think that was you, right? What multiplies to be 5 and adds to be... Wait.
3.
No. What?
2.
Careful. Wrong way.
Oh.
What multiplies to be 5 and adds to be 6?
Nothing.
Number 1 and 5.
Oh.
Not even... I mean, the negatives. Both positives, because check it.
What is that?
Both negatives would make that one work, but a negative plus a negative would be a negative. So Alexis, you would have been perfect if it was one.
Yeah,
It's
but
plus.
if we were to get the answer in the answer box.
Oh, because we haven't finished it yet. Yeah, we haven't finished it yet, because it would be x minus 1 and x minus 5. But careful. Oh, I did it backwards. Thank you. Whoa, I did it backwards. Where am I today? X plus 1. There we go. And remember, sorry, I was flipping it too early. When we have intercepts, we flip the signs when we go and find our solutions. We would set each one equal to 0, and as Alexis just said, yeah, the answers would be negative as far as the solutions. But Max, sorry, what was your question?
So if you could do the quadratic form and get the same thing, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is the cool thing of you solving with any method, because the X only sometimes works.
Yeah.
Quadratic formula always works.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Andrew, you were thinking number 7 was another good factoring one. So we have some factoring ones, but you can also do quadratic formula. Although quadratic formula, hold on, wait a minute. Which ones could you not do quadratic formula yet until you rearrange them?
And 9.
Yeah, can we circle 9 real quick just to make sure that we watch out for that one? What's another dangerous one? 11. And number 10, well, if I were you, number 10 is a great complete the square one. I don't know about you, but number 10 is a great complete the square one if you know how to do that. But if you don't know how to complete the square, you could just subtract the 7. But number 9, has anybody gotten a good rearrangement of number 9? Because right now it's not good the way it is. What's a good way of making this in standard form? What would you guys do? Add the 25x squared. And doesn't that x squared one get put in the very, very front?
Yeah.
So what should go next if we're adding the 25x squared and we're trying to put it in standard form?
Move the 1.
Yeah, move the 1 to the very end, right? Now careful. When I move the 1, is that a positive one or a negative? Careful. The 10 is negative. What's the sign in front? It's a common mistake. What's the sign in front of the 1?
Negative.
Nope. Negatives after, positives before, so it'd be a +1. I would use that for the quadratic formula. And for number 11, I would add the 3x. Just trying to get you guys to have the standard forms right, yeah? This would be 8x squared. Help me out, and we'll be done. What's next? Hey, Adrian's alive. We have these answers all the time. Get out of here, guys. This worksheet is just for you guys to practice. You can see the right answers off to the side, but make sure you can get there. You will be able to ask me questions quick before the quiz tomorrow. Remember, for quadratics, you get to choose whatever method you want that works for you to solve it. Quadratic formula is a way. I could work on all of them. Worst comes to worst. You did this? 16 years. 16 years. Oh.
So bad.
Our square would have been 2x and a 2x. We would have had to add 4, right? And that would have been 11. Oh, yeah, we're listening to that, which is
See, I told you. I'm trying to put one height. Oh, that's
and then
That was yeah. Well, we always do that. Yeah, she always has to say it. That was
Yeah.
we were so close, and that's so much easier to calculate 21.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Good job, Ken.